And we're back again. Okay, so now we've got precise measurements. We can also have measurements that come off of different places. So what I'd love to direct your attention to now is down at this bottom bar. So there's nothing here right now, but when I click a tool, there will be. So if I go rectangle, for example, it gives some instructions here in case you forget. So it says, click to set the first corner. I can press Control to toggle the center. So right now, it just does a corner, and then I click the other corner. But if I press Control, it's going to start in the middle of the... If I press Control now, yeah, it's going to draw from the middle instead of the side. So I can use that to have it start in the middle. I don't know why you do that. Maybe you want to do that someday. The other thing you can do is, it says the arrow keys toggle the lock drawing plane. That's a mouthful that literally means I've always been drawing on the ground, flat on the floor. So the blue line goes up and down. The blue axis is up and down in the 3D space. So the blue rectangle next to my pencil when I'm drawing the rectangle shows that it's going to be drawn on that line. So it's going to be flat on the ground. Maybe I don't want to all the time. Maybe it would be easier to draw something sideways. So right now it's blue. If I press the left mouse button or the left arrow key, I'll get the green one, which means it's going to be drawn vertically facing in the direction of the green line. So it's more like a painting on the wall. And just like normal, I can stretch that out. I can use precise measurements by typing it in. All of that's still the same. So again, so I've got the blue. If I do the right arrow key, now it's going to be drawing it in the red direction. And I can pull that out as normal. I can set a specific distance. I don't know, 20 feet. Why not? We'll make a big one. Bloop. And there you go. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. With rectangular prisms, you can figure out how to do it anyway. But for cylinders, it's a lot more important because there's a huge difference between a cylinder on the ground or a cylinder on the green axis or a cylinder on the red axis. They look massively different because they're pointing in completely different directions. And the only way to do that otherwise would be to rotate them. And I've already told you the rotation tool in this program, I don't get it. I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. So we can draw them in particular axis, but even more helpful a lot of the time, especially when you're trying to line things up precisely, is you can move in a specific way. So selection, it says you can grab extra things. If I hold down Shift, I can select more stuff. If I hold down Control, I can remove, or Shift and Control, it can remove some of the stuff I have selected. But the big one is for moving at the end of the day. Moving stuff in 3D precisely is really hard. Like, is that going sideways or is that going up or down or towards me? Or it's really hard to tell how much of its movement is actually level, how much of it is up or down or whatever. So you'll notice down at the bottom, this one also says arrow keys toggle the direction. So if I am holding this to move it and I hit left, it turns green. You see the dotted line turns green, and it will only move exactly along the green line. If I do red, it'll only move exactly in the red direction. It does not move up and down, forward, back, only along that one. If I do up, I get the blue, and it only moves exactly up and down. So when you're trying to line things up, that is huge. It makes a big difference. Anything else we really need today? Sure, let's throw this one in here. Let's say you need to make a bunch of slats in a row. Let's make a fence. So I'll go on my red axis, green axis, good. I'll make a fence post or a fence slat, little board for a fence. I'll grab it and I'll group it, right click, make a group. And then if I want a whole bunch of these in a row, Well, actually, it's like underground right now. That's not very helpful. So let's do move. Oh, I have to select it first. Select it. Move. And I only want it to go in the blue direction. So I press up and it says lock to blue. No, it's not. Now it is. And then I can just line it up and I can see I'm right on ground level pretty much. So I can make sure that lines up where I want it. If I wanted to get it right out to the green line or to the red line, I'll lock to green and then I can, whoa. Sorry. Let's try that again. Lock to green and we can slide it over to the red line, get it right where we want it. Okay, so we've got one of them. Now we want to make a bunch of them. So we have it selected. We have our move. Now at the bottom, control means make a copy. Okay, what does that mean? Well, let's press right so it moves on red. Control so it makes a copy. And you'll see this little plus on my arrows. And this time when I move it over, it's not moving it, it's moving a copy. And I can go boop. And now I've got two of them. And they're exactly the same in every respect. What if I want more? Well, we'll select it again. Copy. Lock to red by pressing the right arrow key. Control, so it makes a copy. You can see the change in the cursor. And we'll slide over one exactly where we want it. And you could type the distance if you knew exactly how far you wanted it to move. And we'll get it there, and we'll click. And then if I do X 5, that means times 5. So instead of one copy, I'm going to get 5 all equally spaced. And just like that, there's a good chunk of fence. So yeah, control to duplicate when you're moving, arrow keys to lock things to certain directions. That's what you need to know from this video.